Well, happy hump day, everyone. Hope you're having a great day and a great week this week. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Take 5. Hey, this week we are talking about a subject that we have entitled Changing Seasons. Now, seasons are things that we cannot avoid. We're all going to have to deal with it. And as bad as we hate change, and you know how we feel about change in the church, as bad as we hate change, the fact is our lives are going to constantly change from season to season. I mean, we do it physically here with the elements from spring to summer to fall to winter. And so you would naturally think that we would understand this constant process of changing season. A season is defined as a definite portion of time that's either brief or extended, and it has a sure beginning and a sure ending. It will start, but friend, it will come to an end. Time is the length or duration that is allotted to it, and purpose is the reason this thing exists. There's a reason for every one. Already this week we've discovered that seasons are beyond our control and they're beyond our understanding. Today I want to deal with this thought, and that is the seasons of life include both good and bad times. Both of it. Can't have all good. You're not going to have all bad. The seasons of life include both of them. Life's filled with contrast. We go through mountains, we go through valleys, we go through successes, we go through failures. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Life's filled with contrast. As a matter of fact, when you read on in Ecclesiastes 3, after verse 1, beginning at verse 2, he says, there's a time to be born and a time to die. You see the contrast? A time to plant, a time to pluck up. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. Are you catching the contrast here? A time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, a time to lose. Wow, that's a big contrast. A time to keep, a time to throw away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. Hey, I know a lot of people that could learn that right there. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. 14 pairs of opposites are listed in verses 2 through 8, and God is using them to try to cover every conceivable experience in man's life. And what we learn from that is that there is going to be continual, abrupt change in our life and in our environment. And most of the time it's going to come with absolutely no apparent reason whatsoever. And this constant changing will try your dependence on God if you do not accept it as God's plan. Now, in the middle of all of these changing events, we do need to understand that the life of a believer is not a haphazard jumble of events that just take place uncensored by God. On the contrary, when we're in God's will, they happen exactly when He designs them to, the good and the bad. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I'm good and I'm obedient to God, then bad seasons won't come. I hate to tell you, but there's still times that when we're obedient and when we're completely in pursuit of God's divine will, that death and sickness and depression and debt and sorrow and grief and pain and many other bad things will come even at that time. But remember, there's a reason for this season that you're in. So life is this big combination of contrasting seasons. All sunshine and no rain makes a desert. All rain and no sunshine makes a flood. Ask Noah. He knows better than anyone. If you're following God's will and you're really trying to live your life according to the way God wants you to live, each of these experiences have meaning, they have purpose, and they have value in your life and in mine. Because God will use every season, regardless of what it is, for the good of His people. Now, for every season, we just saw there's an opposing season. Some people call this good news. Some people call it bad news. Here's what we need to begin to call it: life. It's the way God planned life. It's the way we approach every circumstance in life, realizing that there will be wins and there will be losses, there will be sunshine, there will be rain. Let me read a passage from Philippians 4 and we'll close this thing out today. Paul said, "It's not that I speak in respect of want." He said, because I have learned in whatever state I am in to be content, whatever state, good or bad. I know how to be abased. I know how to abound. Everywhere in all things I'm instructed to be full and to be hungry. See the contrast? To abound and suffer need. See the contrast? But I can do all things through Christ, which has strengthened me. Hey, we can hate it if we want to, but it's not going to change the fact that life is filled with contrasting seasons, and God intends to use every one of them for the good of His people. So we can't control seasons. We don't always understand seasons, and seasons come with bad things and with good things, but there is a reason for every season, and God will do something good in your life. Well, hey, have a great day today. I hope to see you right here tomorrow on Thursday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day.